good evening, and nice to have you here. This is our sixth Treasure of Knowledge, and our topic this evening is supporting Parkinson patients with Taijiquan and Qigong. Parkinson disease is a serious illness, and the diagnosis often hits people hard and unprepared. And Parkinson's is also an incurable disease of the brain. And it leads to a progressive loss of nerve cells. And as a result, the persons with Parkinson's disease loses control of the body. And around 1% over 60 is affected by Parkinson's. And, but there are also younger people. And today there's around 6 million worldwide who are affected of Parkinson's. So reason enough for us to invite 3 international experts to this topic. And I welcome Rosalind Smith, Isabell Senft-Daniel, and Mirko Lorenz. Hello, everybody. And nice that you are here and joined in from the UK, the US, and from Germany. So thanks for coming. And I think let's have a couple of words up front. I think that Parkinson's is quite known because of some prominent people like Michael J. Fox, and maybe also people have a member in the family who has Parkinson's, or also in the circle of friends. But for those who have no idea what's Parkinson, let's have a first question on what makes it special to work with Parkinson's patients. And maybe Rosalind, you can start and give us a short introduction.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I think it's really good because first when they come to the class, they're really lost. It's quite different movement, very slow, but everyone in the West Cumbria group is very supportive. And the second time when they're coming back to the class, it's wonderful because the quality of movement, you almost immediately see that the quality of movement changes, and there's a huge support in the class from everybody. So you feel like you're doing something really positive and helping people.
So how many people do you have in the class?
Well, normally, obviously, we have problems now with the pandemic, but we have about, it varies, 12, something like that. Carers can come in as well. And afterwards, they always stay for a cup of tea and a piece of cake or biscuit, something, and have a good chat for 15 minutes, which is so important. They're really tight-knit group, very pleasant to work with.
Okay, wonderful. Mirko, how is it in...
Urte, sorry, can you bring up your microphone again?
Sure. Okay, Mirko, then again the question, what makes it special to work with Parkinson's? And I think you have to unmute as well because Mirko, can you unmute? Mirko, we need a little, yeah, exactly. We need a microphone.
Now,
excellent.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. So special is that the people they have a chronic disease. Yeah, maybe they are very stiff. They cannot stand for a long time. You have to think about chairs in the classroom. The average age is maybe 60, 65 in my groups, sometimes younger. Yeah, the youngsters are getting more up and up. Yeah, some people with 30 I have in my groups. And special is also that they have before they come, I work in a lot of hospitals, and the doctor says, yeah, you have to go to this class. Yeah, and so even they don't have heard something about Chinese martial arts, Tai Chi or Qigong. So they maybe they're a bit afraid of the training, and so you have to you have to bring them slowly to the class. And This is the special things. You have to, don't think like normal Tai Chi classes. You have to think more simple, yeah? Just Tai Chi principles, yeah? Not so many Tai Chi forms or complicated movements. It's very important.
Okay, so thanks a lot. And Isabel, how was it for you?
First, thanks for having me. I would say people with Parkinson really search and they like to try something new. A lot of people, if they have the right treatment, they can live with their disease easily for 20 years. We have a lot of young onset people with Parkinson. They can be under the age of 30. You like to give them a kind of impression, not a kind of impression, you give them the impression that they can do a lot of things other people can do. Therefore, I like Tai Chi. They can come into the class, you treat them like a normal client who comes to your class. People with Parkinson are very funny. They have quite a great humor. Our classes, it starts with a joke in the beginning, and that's really what I like on the people with Parkinson. Also the families, right? The caregivers, we should not forget about them. There's a big burden on the caregivers. We integrate the caregivers, care partners in our classes, and you give them a kind of a socializing factor. You know, normally they don't like to socialize a lot since their voice gets very soft with the disease. And that's a good chance for them to go out, see other people, you know, do something for themselves. And that's what I like the most on my Parkinson groups.
Okay, nice. So the social aspect seems to be very important in those groups. People with Parkinson's may have problems with resting tremor, slow movement, stiff and inflexible muscles, and poor balance. And I've understood from you that we have to, or you have to tailor somehow the exercises. So how do you modify Tai Chi or Qigong to teach Parkinson's people? Maybe Isabel, you can start for this time.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's very important that you evaluate everybody when they come into the class first time, second time, actually every time. Since it depends on when they take their medication, they can come in like somebody who has no disease at all, but this can switch over time. If they come in the period where they come to an off period, it's very important to know you have to be prepared that somebody who walks in and you would say, oh, they don't have a disease at all, this can switch in minutes. So it's very important that you see who's in the group, and doesn't mean if they come in and have a very great balance one day that this is like this all the time. They can come in next time and sit in a wheelchair. Right, this is maybe a little bit challenging in the people with Parkinson's, since the impression of their gait, their balance can change in minutes. I have all the time chairs handy, so I can really change my class during action. That's very important. You have to be very flexible as an instructor to adapt the situations.
Can you demonstrate us an exercise so that from your class?
Yeah, I love the base exercises with weight shifting and standing. So first, I really try to get them in a good position, and here all the principles of Tai Chi, of course, apply to every single exercise. And I try to first give them a little bit of idea what means standing, right? That they can get their feet on the floor. Remember, a lot of people, if they have their muscle tone is too high, they never have a full touch of their feet on the floor. and then just start with very, very easy components of weight shifting, you know, give them a good posture. And it's very hard to do 2 or 3 tasks at once. You know, if you start with lower extremity and you add upper extremity, you have to go very slow and you have to break down the sequence really a lot. That was one of the things I figured out when I taught my first class. I come in, have my great plan for today, and I had to switch it 100% since I could only do an 8 of what I really like to teach on the day. So this changes every time. For me, the basic exercises, since they have very often problems or difficulties with balance and standing and walk, right? This is, or gait, this is something I start all the time. And you will be surprised. It depends on the stage the patients are in. You know, you will be surprised how you have to scale it back. It's different. It's very different to teaching a normal class.
Okay. Mirko, how do you tailor your exercises of Tai Chi Chuan or Qigong?
Yeah.
For Parkinson?
That's a bit like Isabell said already. Oh, okay, you can hear me. Less is more. So I lived a long time in China, and the training there and what you bring back from China to Germany is totally different. What you can bring to the hospital where you work with Parkinson patients. Yeah, this is a completely different world. So, especially you start maybe with a small intro. Yeah, you explain where Tai Chi is from, for what is it useful. You start maybe with a small warming up. Yeah, some work for balance, for some small stretching, and later you go so that you make the movement not so complicated. Yeah, just keep the focus on the principles, especially maybe like our forward steps I'm teaching Chen style, and in Chen style our forward steps, when you coordinate arms and weight, yeah, so the lower and the upper body together. So this is not useful for people with Parkinson. So they need maybe more balance. They have to slow down. You have to have more concentration, more focus. And so maybe you do it without your arms. Yeah, you can do it in every direction. And maybe you're just going like this. Yeah, just slowly steps. Yeah. Control everything. At the end of the training, you can do maybe some sitting meditation for coming down. But it's also like Isabell said, every class is different. Yeah, maybe you have some people, they can do 1.5 hours of training, and next time they can go just 5 minutes and then they have to sit down. So this is really keep it simple. Not so different movements, just take Tai Chi principles. And what's also very important, to give them something for at home. Yeah, maybe standing exercises for more balance, like we have the Qigong standing. Yeah, bend your knees and say, okay, you do this now every day when you clean your tooth, yeah, every evening. Then you stay in this position. Yeah, so you have a training for at home. Yeah, you have to think more practical, or maybe next way to the bakery or something, go slowly, enjoy, feel your steps. Yeah, so you have to give them something practical.
So really like integrating it like in the everyday life. Okay, nice. Rosalind, how about your classes?
Yeah, I just have one with the Parkinson's, West Cumbria Parkinson's branch. And so it's a mixed ability. So that really, a lot like Mirko and Isabel have said, but everybody has a chair. And so I do a variety of sitting and standing. We usually start with a fun warm-up, and I'm a 60s girl, so we often have our marching just for 5 minutes, marching and doing funny little dance moves. They're following me because music obviously is very good for Parkinson's. So that's sort of to let energy off and let people calm down. And then we start in the Tai Chi, and I vary. I have some exercises in sitting and then some in standing. So like people have said, if somebody's medication goes off and they can't move properly, they can sit down, or if they're tired, some people just sit and watch the class. They're still getting exercise, watching, the brain cells will be working. So a big support there for people. And I put the chairs out like a chessboard, all on the black square or the white square. So there's plenty of room for people to move their arms and not hit the next person. And then I also use the Tai Chi Principles, big thing with me. And I use Shibashi, a few sequences, Shibashi, something called the 3 planes and Lotus. But we often just take one move and we work on that and look at the principles. And it seems very popular. The class keeps going. So people are obviously enjoying it.
Can you demonstrate something for us as well?
Yes, I've decided to choose a seated exercise because everybody then can do this exercise. Okay. So as a physiotherapist, I have a big thing about posture, and I love the fact that Tai Chi is based on normal, efficient movement. So I encourage people to sit in the best possible posture. If they can, to sit forward, because a little bit on the chair, if their balance is good enough. Because often in halls that I rent, the chair will tip people back. So I want them sitting with a nice straight spine. The soles of the feet flat on the floor, feet shoulder width apart, just like you do in the Tai Chi form. The crown suspended from a point from the tip of the ears to the top of the head. So the crown is suspended, and then the body hangs down. You let gravity draw the body down. I like to use lots of visualizations, which seem to work with people. So you could think about the spine hanging like a string of pearls. That's lovely imagery, and it takes it away from traditional exercise. Nice long line in the front, and then relax. Tai Chi is all about letting go, melting the muscles. Set the bones, and then the muscles on top of the bones melt the muscles. And what we're going to do is a simple, you could say, trunk rock. So I'm going to lean forward and back. But I want people to calm their mind down as though they're going to sleep. I want them to feel into the internal sensations of the body. Imagine that you're on a swing and you fall forward and back and very slowly, and then feel into the body. Feel how the hips, they call that the qua in Chinese, open here and they close. Feel a nice sense of pressure in your feet. And I also encourage people to have nice relaxed arms. They're often trying hard to move, and we want to let go of trying and just let the movement happen. So the hands should be relaxed and moving. So that's one everybody could do. Like Mirko, it would be nice if people would practice or bring this into their daily lives. Some people do. And then I have written sheets I've given out in the pandemic, and I also have a YouTube channel, and some of the people in my classes watch. I've got some seated exercises, just little 10 minutes, so that hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully they can practice this.
Okay, thanks a lot. I like this letting go because you can use it for everything. Let's go for another round of questions, because I think you all said something about the social aspect. So can you tell us a story that has particularly touched you when working with Parkinson's? And maybe Isabell, you can start.
Yeah, I think I had a great story. I had a patient once who came in a wheelchair, and I think he was in the wheelchair for a whole year. And we did some warm up exercises, breathing, and I got him out of the chair, and we started with some dance moves, since I remembered he used to be a dancer. And that was quite a nice story, since we ended up our session dancing, and I tried to integrate all the Tai Chi moves, since, you know, it's with the weight shifting and of course all the principles. And when his wife came in and picked him up, she cried. She could not believe what she saw, since at home he even had problems to assist her getting out of the wheelchair, and here he was dancing, right? And really the focus for the family was, you know, how can we implement something different, what brings joy. And again, what Rosalind told us with the music, I really like to integrate the music and give them a kind of a time out from thinking about their disease, making them feel like everybody else. And I also don't like to talk about Parkinson's a lot when I teach a class, since I really think that's a great time out of their daily thinking about their disease. And again, I also like to have the care partners for the last couple of minutes with me, and maybe even for our own session to also give them a little time for themselves and, you know, relaxation, and also to implement all the exercises in their daily life activities. And from then on, you know, whenever he came into the door, dancing, of course, was a big thing. And for myself, it was a great feeling. I went home and, you know, I had this feeling I could change something in the family's life, and it really touched me big time. I cried. Yeah, that was one of my success stories with somebody with Parkinson's.
Thanks a lot. It's a really nice story. Mirko, is there something what has touched you as well while working?
Yes, there are some events in the last years touched me. Sometimes it's small things when you start with the class and everyone needs a chair to stand upright, and maybe after 5 or 6 times you don't see any chairs in the room. Yeah, this is very, very nice. Or I had last summer a workshop. It was 1 week, and there was an 80-year-old woman, and her husband was in a hospital and he was dying during the workshop. Yeah. And I was thinking, oh my God, oh yeah. But the woman came to me, this old woman came to me, said, oh, I'm so sorry, I cannot attend this class this morning. I have to go to my husband. Yeah, he's in the hospital now and he's dead. But in the afternoon, I will come back. In the afternoon, I'm here again. I will attend this workshop. Yeah. And this is for every teacher, when the teachers see that the students want to learn something, and you move something in the room, the classroom, then you see it in the eyes. Yeah. And this is very nice. This is, then it's everything fine.
Thanks a lot. Very nice. Rosalind.
Yes. A long time ago, I had a couple come. This was to a class that wasn't particularly for Parkinson's. Well, it was for health class. And the husband was going to watch. And I said, won't you join in? And so he joined in, and they must have come now for at least 10 years. And it was really nice. So it gave them something to share. Some people, the carers, need a break. That's fine too. But it was really nice. And sadly, I wish I could say some wonderful success. I mean, they had a lovely time together. And then she also had a problem with her sight. But they kept coming. And one time, not that long ago, the husband said, you know, his wife was the best she'd been. They also did dancing and singing in the Parkinson's group. It's a very active group. But sadly, I'm afraid she can no longer come. She's deteriorated somewhat. But just lovely to have people, you know, that time together. Wasn't that nice for all those years? They had something to share. So it touched me.
Thanks a lot. It's when I let's do a last round because half an hour is not a lot of time, I know, but maybe seeing a little bit in the future, like from Parkinson's perspective, and when you imagine that you have one wish free, and what would this wish be for the future of Taijiquan and Qigong? And Rosalind, you might start. Maybe let's go the other way around.
Do you want me?
Yes.
Working out the other way around. My thought is, as a physiotherapist, I would like it to be accepted in the National Health Service as a therapeutic tool for patients, and also in the private sector, so that physios, OTs, you know, people are familiar with this. They don't view it as complementary therapy, because it isn't really. It's normal, efficient movement, and it's so enjoyable. It's a good addition to have in your toolbox as a therapist.
Thanks a lot. You will see if that is not only a wish, but it comes true. That would be nice. Mirko, you are in the middle, but I keep you in the middle. So maybe you can tell us about your wish.
Yeah, yeah. I wish that more people should know how useful Tai Chi is for health, especially for Parkinson patients. That's what I want. And the second wish is that people can see, if they start to train and to keep on going, that the movement is getting better. They can achieve something, yeah, especially by Parkinson disease, yeah. And it's my wish that more people know this, yeah.
And thanks a lot. Isabell, you take care about with your organization for more than 400 families. So what would your wish be?
I think my wish would be that all the healthcare providers would have a certain hours of basic Tai Chi in their education. You know, all the therapists anyway, but also nurses, physicians, home care companies, you know, everybody who has something to do with Parkinsonians should know the basic principles and also basic moves of Tai Chi, since it can help everybody, right? If you're a home care company and you have to transfer somebody out of the bed, would be great that they know how to use Tai Chi as a tool in their toolbox. And this is my wish, since a lot of people, you know, they don't know really what is Tai Chi, like Mirko mentioned in the beginning. They think, you know, it's something only people in Asia do and stuff like this. I think this would be very helpful for everybody to have this in a baseline, and also the coverage of health insurance for the classes, or even in one-on-one. And I know, you know, the healthcare system is of course different in Europe than in the US, and also different in countries in Europe.
Thanks a lot. So my wish would be that all the wishes come true. So thanks a lot. It was a real pleasure with you and you have that you are here and telling us a little bit about Parkinson's and what is the difference, how can we get an insight on that, and how the practices are. So thanks a lot, and I wish you a nice evening with that at home and celebrating a little bit Nikolaus maybe. If, in Europe it's only, in the US it's not. But this was the last episode this year. We will have an inspirational break in January and we will be back in February. So the topic is not fixed yet. So you can still send us some ideas. And if you want to stay and listen, or you get the latest news, then like us on Facebook so that you get also the next topics there. And yeah, that was it. And have a nice evening.
Bye.